If you've ever gone through a divorce, then you probably know the feeling. That feeling of waking up and wondering, who the f am I now? Your routines are gone, the future you pictured has completely vanished, and even simple things like getting out of bed and making a decision feels overwhelming. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're just lost. And you're not alone. You see, but here's the thing no one tells you. The man that you'll become by going through this, he's stronger than the one you lost. So these are the 5 things you need to keep in mind as you go through your divorce. Key number 1, don't isolate. Connection is survival. Remember that voice telling you to disappear, to handle this alone? That voice is lying to you. Divorce doesn't just take your partner, it takes your entire social ecosystem. Suddenly, mutual friends pick sides. Family gatherings feel different. Even your own reflection feels like a stranger. But here's the truth. Isolation is divorce's best friend. Connection is yours. After my split, the silence was crushing. I could have drowned in that quietness. Instead, I swallowed my pride, called my parents at 2 a.m. when I couldn't sleep, played mindless video games with my best friend just to hear another human voice. I wasn't healing, I was surviving, and sometimes that's enough. But without connection, it's 1,000 times harder to survive. Join one group this week, a dad's meetup, even just an online gaming group. The activity doesn't matter. The regular human contact while you're going through this thing does. So set it up as a reoccurring event on your calendar. Show up even when, especially when you don't want to. You see, the biggest mistake that you need to avoid is waiting to feel ready to reconnect. You won't. That's like waiting to feel hydrated before drinking water. Like, connection comes first. Feeling better comes second. And if you think that reaching out is weak, wait until you hear what real strength looks like. You see, the second key is fight for what matters, even if everyone tells you not to. You'll never get 50-50 custody. Just accept weekend visits. Don't waste your money fighting. The courts are biased. Well, here's what they don't want you to know. Every single person who tells you to give up has already given up on themselves. I was blocked from seeing my son, character assassinated in court, reduced to supervised visits like I was some kind of criminal. The system said I'd lost before I even started simply because of my gender and my role in my child's life. But something snapped at me, not rage, a kind of righteous anger, clarity, if you will. And so I started documenting every text, every call, every broken promise. I became a detective in my own life. If my lawyer told me I could or couldn't do something, I verified that myself. In essence, I became my own lawyer who had a lawyer helping him. My own lawyer even stared at the custody agreement and said, "You called this from day one. Wow." Even he was shocked that I was able to get it. But the thing is, I didn't stop believing in it, that a father shouldn't be erased out of their child's life. I didn't give in to all of that. I didn't give in to the stereotypes. I didn't give in to the, oh, just accept being the weekend dad. Just accept that that's how it is, that the courts are biased against fathers. No, I said, I'm going to fight for what matters, which is my son. You see, I refused to let my son grow up thinking his dad didn't fight for him. Let that sink in. Your kids are watching. What story do you want them to remember about you? But winning custody, that's just the beginning. You see, the real battle, it happens at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. And so that brings me to my third point, which is structure is your secret weapon. Discipline equals freedom. And speaking of freedom, you know what nobody warned you about? The terrifying freedom of an empty day. No shared calendar. No, we need to talk or discuss this before we do it. No default dinner plans. Just you and 24 hours of nothingness. You see, most guys, it'll hit them and they'll try to build some Instagram-worthy morning routine. Cold showers, journaling, 5 a.m. workouts. They last 3 days and then they feel worse than they did before because now they also just failed their whole little morning routine that they were going to start. You see, here's what actually works. Pick one thing, just one. Start easy, start simple, start small. For me, it was 5 minutes of prayer each morning. Not because I'm religious, but because I needed something bigger than my pain to talk to. And I committed to those 5 minutes every single morning. And then what happened is, after a while, it was like, okay, let me add on another thing. maybe I started adding on meditation. So I would pray and then I would shut up and listen and meditate on what was going through my head, what was happening in the world, what I felt God was saying to me. You see, the magic wasn't in the actual activity either. It was just in the choosing of doing it, of trying to better the situation, of making a choice to do what you could in the moment, build yourself up, to improve yourself, and to improve your life, even if it's just the smallest movement. You see, when your whole life feels like it's out of control, controlling just 5 minutes makes you feel human again. And speaking of control, let's talk about the one role nobody can take from you. And that brings me to my fourth point, which is redefine fatherhood on your terms. Plot twist. Are you ready for this? It might blow your mind. Divorce didn't make you half a parent, it made you a whole one. Think about it. No more good cop, bad cop negotiations. No more ask your mother. No more diluted parenting filtered through someone else's rules. When I finally got my 50-50, something shifted. I wasn't performing fatherhood anymore. I was living it. Saturday pancakes became our thing. Not because Pinterest said so, because my son laughed when I flipped them too high. Bedtime stories turned into made-up adventures where he was the hero. Every tradition, every rule, every moment, 100% us. You see, you're not competing with your ex. You're not trying to be mom. You're being something irreplaceable. Fatherhood is an amazing thing. Being a father is an amazing thing. Being a father is whatever you define that as being. And you get to raise your kid the way you see fit when you have him and what you feel is the best way. And if it truly is your ex that was causing problems, then your kid is going to see that growing up. You know, they're going to see how you chose to show up or not show up. And then the fifth thing that I wanted to talk about is healing isn't pretty, and that's okay. You want to know the most toxic lie about divorce recovery? Time heals all wounds. Bullshit. Time just teaches you to walk with a limp. You see, I did everything right. Therapy, exercise, focused on my son, stayed busy, reconnected with old friends, checked every box on the healthy divorce recovery checklist. And yet I still had nights where I'd sit in my car after drop off, unable to drive away, still caught myself setting 2 coffee mugs out by habit. And here's the plot twist. The pain changing shape, that's the healing. One day you realize you went through a whole hour without thinking about it. Then a day. And then you feel guilty for not feeling guilty. That's not betrayal, that's progress. And it happens slowly over time, and it's messy. You're not the man who got divorced. You're the man who survived divorce. Every morning that you get up, every time you show up for your kids, every moment that you choose to rebuild instead of revenge, victory. You're not starting over, you're starting better. If you can't get enough of Tanner and I, maybe you should check out this Pokemon pack opening video. I think you'll like it.